Kids, we made it. We made it to 200 subscribers, baby. We made it. Yeah. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate 200 subscribers. Before I posted my episode 1 review, I had 162 subscribers. And now I'm at 220, 240, I think, 245, if I had to guess. Something somewhere around there. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. But you're not here to hear me talk about how many subscribers I had. You're here to listen to my review of episode 3 of The Wheel of Time. That's what you're here for. Not subscribes, but subscribe. Anyway, please, it's really easy. Just hit that red button. Come back for every episode review that I'm going to do. We're going to have discussions, baby. I'm so much enjoying reading the comment section. People telling me what I got wrong, telling me, trying to be kind about it too. I love it. I love it. I love reading the comments saying, oh, you're almost right, but you're not right at all. I love that. I love it. So please continue to comment, because comments mean more to me than subscribes do. I mean, the fact that you're spending your time to comment on a video, subscribes mean a lot, but taking your time to type something for me to read, it means a lot. It really does. So anyway, let's jump into this episode. Now, the past few episodes, I've been trying to do non-spoiler and then spoiler, but it's really hard to talk about an episode without spoiling it. I'm just going to talk really briefly about what happens without spoiling it and what I think. They're separated. They separate at the end of episode 2. There's 2, 2, and 2. So they're in groups of 2. Okay? And they don't know if each other, if their other friends are alive. They don't know who's dead. They don't know anything. They just know that they are alive, and the person there, where they're in buddies, they're in buddy groups. So they survive that, and they go on their separate ways. Insert the Journey song here if it wasn't copyrighted. But I don't know what's going on with Perrin and Egwin. I don't know what's going on between those two. Are they brother and sister? Because they look like they're close. I know they're not lovers. It's a small town, so everybody knows everybody. So I guess that could be why they're so close. They've probably been growing up together since they were kids. They've known each other. Each group has its own quest now, basically. I don't know if they're all heading to the tower, because 2 of the people are trying to decide whether or not they want to continue to the White Tower or they want to go home. Now, if they go home, it's going to attract the Trollocs. The Trollocs are still after them. They're still after them. So wherever they go, the Trollocs are going to follow. It was a decent episode. It was episode 1 and 2 were definitely better. 1 was the best one. That was the best episode so far. 2, it was slightly better than episode 3. Do you see that Zoe Robbins' character is back? Let me see if I can pronounce this right. Nynaeve. I think I nailed it. I think I nailed it that time. Finally, Nynaeve. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. Why can't her name just be like, I don't know, Claudia or Claire or something like that? I don't know. There's so many of these names that are hard to pronounce, and it's just gonna get worse. I'm looking at the cast right now, the list of the cast for the season, and the names are just gonna get harder and harder. I'm just gonna have to start paying attention, really paying attention to the way they pronounce these names, and try to just keep it in my head so that when I'm doing these videos, I can pronounce it properly, because I'm butchering these names badly. Look, Rand, easy. Egwin, I know I'm not pronouncing that right. Egwene, maybe that's how you pronounce it. Moraine, that's fairly easy. Matt, Come on now. I have a cousin named Matt. That's easy. Land. I apologize. To get back on track. That's pretty much all I can say about the non-spoilers. Okay, it's so hard to talk about the show without. So I think this might be my last episode with non-spoilers. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to continue the non-spoiler part or you just want me to get right into spoilers, because I'm fine with either way. So to get into the spoiler part of this episode, I'm going to start with the Trolloc at the beginning. The Trolloc at the beginning that's dragging Nynaeve by her hair. She got kidnapped in the first episode. She wakes up, he's dragging her, and then he stops, and then he starts eating one of the other Trollocs. So they're just eating each other, and she runs away, and she ends up hiding and killing the Trolloc. That was a good scene. It was intense. That was an intense scene because he knows that she's in the water. Like, these things are smart, right? They're smart. I don't know if they're really smart, but it seems like they're not dumb. Lan, I can't wait to see more of his fighting skills, because I just feel that he is going to just destroy people. And we saw it in the first episode briefly, but as the episodes go on, as the seasons go on, you're gonna get to see Lan as this crazy fighting machine. I don't know that for sure, but from what we saw on the first episode, that's what it seems like. It seems like he's no nonsense, just like Moraine is. And I didn't know this. Somebody in the comments told me about this, and then I heard it on this episode, which was cool, that there's a bond between Aes Sedai and their ward, which is cool. Because when the girl was healing Moraine, she was like, listen, I know about the bond. You feel what she feels. I'm going to do this to her, and it's going to hurt you. So prepare yourself. And that's a cool thing. So I want to know the backstory on how they get their ward, like how the bond starts. That's interesting to see. That's an interesting backstory that I can't wait for the show to give me more information about. That right there, I love to hear that, and then it gets me interested in learning, okay, how does that even come to be? I love that. She ends up healing Moraine, and we don't get to see her much. Well, we get to see her pale state, and we get to see her laying down, but we don't get to see her do stuff. We don't get to hear her talk. And that's why you got Rosamund Pike for this role. She's the main girl, and I love Rosamund Pike, and I want to see her in action, but we're not going to get to see it all the time. There's going to be some times where she's hurt, where she's recovering, and that's okay. I just know there's going to be episodes where she's just laying the smack down on people. I love it. And I can't wait to see all the rest of the Sedais do the same thing, because I could only imagine how much more powerful some of them might be. I'm excited. I'm excited for the next episode. Now, that scene where Perrin is trying to make the fire, and then Egwene makes the fire with her hands. Now, I don't know if she has known she's always had that power, or from talking to Moraine on that one scene in episode 2, she realized, all right, I have this power. I can do this type of stuff. Let me see if I can do it with the fire. So she ends up lighting the fire. That's going to be interesting to see how she progresses as a person with the one power ability. I'm excited to see how her character progresses and how much more powerful she gets, what she can do. Can she throw bricks like Moraine did in episode 1? Man, I still have that in my head. That brick throwing scene is just, oh man, every time I think about it, man, when the building falls at the end, whew. All right, we're not here to talk about episode 1. If you want to see my episode 1 review, it's on my channel, so you can check that out for yourself. I still don't know the significance of the wolves. Like, are they always gonna be there? Are the wolves the only animal left? All I see is the wolves. And then Perrin has a dream. and he walks in on a wolf eating his dead wife. There's something going on there. I don't know what's going on there yet, but I'm excited to find out more about Perrin's backstory, why he is the way he is. And like, he keeps having these bad dreams, and the other people keep having these dreams every once in a while too. So I'm curious, what's the significance of the dreams? What's going on with the dreams? I need to know, and I can't wait to find out in the show. So Perrin and Egwene end up running, and they run into this group of people that's asking them to sing this song. Or what's going on with the song? Taika Waititi's in there, and they seem like friendly people, but I don't know how long that's gonna last. I don't know how much you can trust people in this world. You know what I was thinking about too? That a lot of the people in the town in episode 1 didn't even know the Trollocs existed, but other towns keep talking about the Trollocs. Hey, so I don't know what's going on. I'm finally going to talk about the music in this episode. I'm finally going to talk about the music in the series so far. Man, I love the music. Music is very important to me, especially in shows like this. And I feel like they've nailed it so far. When Rand and Mat go into this tavern and the dude starts singing that song, I was like, man, this is terrible. This song is terrible. And then I started to listen more to it, and he started to go on. I was like, man, this is a good song. This is a good song, man. Wow, that was good. And that dude I'm singing the song, Thon. He seems like a badass. He seems like a dude you want to have on your side. He does. Like nationwide.
Move this man!
I'm sorry. I had to give it a shot. This dude seems like a badass. Thom. I even like his name. It's easy to pronounce. It's the women in this show that are going to have the toughest names. Like, I'm looking at the list and I'm like, how am I going to pronounce that? How am I going to pronounce that? Wow. I'm going to need your help in the comments. Please help me, please. So the music in this show is incredible. All right. I love it so far. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. I know it. I know it's going to get so much better. It is. I know it. When some of these fight scenes that are coming up, I know there's going to be some big fight scenes coming up, epic battles, and the music is going to hit hard. It's going to be amazing. So I have a question. I think it's pronounced Aiel. There was a person that was in a cage. He had arrows going through him. What are they? Thon said they were more dangerous than the Trollocs. Now, that body didn't look dangerous. Like, it didn't look like a monster of some sort. So I'm interested to find out what they are later on. Another thing I love about this show, and I'm going to compare it to Game of Thrones real quick, okay? The sex scenes. No sex scenes. You don't see boobs. This is a show so far that you can watch with your kids. I haven't heard any swearing. I mean, of course, there's violence. There's, guts on the floor and stuff like that. So you might want to keep your kids away from this. But there's no sex. There's no nudity. So far, anyway. And I love that. I love that. And the one girl said shite. I was like, that's the closest thing I've heard to a swear word in this entire show so far. Now, it might go off the rails later on. I don't know. Maybe it does in the books. But Game of Thrones was just sex scene after sex scene after sex scene, and there was swearing up and down in that show. And I'm not for that, man. I think this is a show that you should be able to watch with your kids. I mean, depending on the ages, of course. So I really do appreciate that. And hopefully they keep it that way. Because Game of Thrones was insane. It was a good show, but man, it would a lot of those scenes weren't necessary, in my opinion. There's people that like that. Me, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. Like, I can do with the cursing every once in a while, but the sex scenes, no, just. So I really do appreciate that in The Wheel of Time. Another thing I appreciate in this show is that there's minimal comedy. This is not a comedy show. All right, so they keep the comedy to a minimum. I mean, every now and then there's something that somebody says. Like, there's a line in this episode where Matt says, "You think she's up for it?" And he's talking about a three-way with the girl that is running the tavern, and that was funny. I gotta laugh out of that. But there's minimal comedy, right? And I love that. I love that. Like, this is not a show that should throw comedy in certain parts where it doesn't belong. Like, we've seen that over and over and over again in shows and movies, and I'm just tired of it. I'm a fan of comedy. I love comedy, but there's a time, a place, a movie or a TV show for that. This doesn't seem like that type of show, so I'm glad they're keeping it to a minimum. Hopefully that continues, because that I really appreciate. I really do appreciate. So I had a feeling when Rand and the girl from the tavern were talking, on the twin beds, I had a feeling that she was going to try to kiss him. I didn't know what was going to happen after that. But when she started to talk about Egwin, I was like, what's going on? I had this face like, I had that. What's going on with this girl face? What? So when that happened, I was like, how do they know? How does she know them? She was dreaming. She was dreaming about them. I guess she made a deal with the Dark Ones, and she was gonna take them both to the Dark Ones. And she mentioned something about the Dark Ones are not the ones that want to kill them. It's the Aes Sedais that want to kill them. I don't know who I can trust in this show, and I like that. I like the fact that I don't know who I can and cannot trust. That's great. It just leaves me scratching my head. Like, okay, all right, I'm down for this. I can do this. All right, you're not giving me too much all at once. I'm cool with that. Then Thon comes and kills her. And that blood transition, I gotta mention it. Like I said, attention to detail. That blood transition to the next scene was fantastic. That right there is an epic transition. I really like that, man. I really love that transition. I'm like, what's going on with this blood? Is gonna form a big puddle, and then something's gonna pop out of it. And no, that was just a way to transition to the next scene. That was great. Oh man, I really did appreciate that. That was awesome. I really like that. So they're using somebody's death to transition to another scene. Loved it. Loved it. I'm interested in finding out how long it's going to take for the crew to reunite. Like we saw in Game of Thrones, it took them seasons upon seasons when they were separated to reunite. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take in this, and I'm going to try to not compare this show to Game of Thrones too much, but there are some things that I feel like I should mention, and that's something I'm interested in finding out. How long is it going to take for them to reunite and become a group again? And Rand, how many times is somebody going to save you, and then you're gonna question them when they say, you should come with me? Like, how many times are you gonna do that? You did it with Moraine, and you're doing it with Thon. Like, what are you doing? Like, he just saved you. Moraine saved you, and I don't know what's going on with you, man. Like, he wouldn't have saved you if, I mean, he could be a bad guy. I don't know. He could be a bad guy. So maybe it's good for Rand to question some of these people. He's a stranger. He seems like a nice dude, though. He sang a really nice song in the tavern. It had Rain and Tears. All right. So why don't you trust them, man? Just, extend your hand and say, man, thank you. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for the song you sung in the tavern. That touched my heart, man. It touched my heart. I was crying. Did you not see me crying in the tavern, man? That was you. You did it. You made me cry, man. That beautiful song. It was great. So that's all I have to say about this episode. I did enjoy it. It wasn't as good as episode 1, of course. It wasn't as good as episode 2. I can't wait to see episode 4. They kind of left us with the, who's this guy in the cage? And this girl in the red dress, she looks like she's more powerful than Moraine. She looks like she can cause damage to people without even blinking. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with her and Moraine. They're going to clash at some point. It's going to happen. I can see it. I can feel it in my bones. There's going to be a clash. Moraine and red dress girl. What's her name? Fleetwood. That's her last name. Menandrin. No, Leandrin. I think I nailed it the last one. Leandrin. There we go. Yes. So I'm interested, man. I can't wait till Friday. Please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate your comments. I read all the comments. I try to respond to all the comments. I've been doing really good so far, and there's been a lot of comments, and I'm trying to keep up, Subscribe, like, share, tell all your friends about me. All right. This channel is going to blow up. I'm telling you right now. You want to be on the train now. You want to tell people later on down the road that, listen, you see that guy right there with the 15 million subscribers? I was with him when he was at 200. I love you. I really do. And I love the Wheel of Time communities. The show, I feel, is just going to get better and better and better. And Amazon's just going to keep throwing money at it. And that's what I want to see. If it's good, hopefully. Friday, another review coming. Episode 4. Subscribe. Thank you.